Keeping pedestrians safe is a big concern for any big city, and the Queen City is no exception. It's getting ready to spend $500,000 on improvements to keep you safe while crossing the street. WCPO transportation reporter Pat LaFleur is on top of all of the new developments for us. Now, Pat, how big of a problem is this?
Sure. So what the city has found in their initial study is that in the month of October alone, there were more than 30 crashes involving pedestrians, according to Cincinnati reports. And that's been pretty consistent over the last several years. This whole initiative got started when an elderly gentleman was struck and killed by a Metro bus in Hyde Park at the beginning of 2016. That prompted City Councilman P.G. Sittenfeld to launch a pedestrian safety study, and that's kind of what got us on this track now.
Now, what will the money go toward?
So the money is going toward various pedestrian safety measures, things like blinking lights, signs that would be positioned in the middle of a crosswalk in the center, on the center line, anything that helps make pedestrians more visible to drivers and alerts drivers that a pedestrian might be trying to cross a crosswalk, especially when it's not at a big intersection. If it's kind of a mid-block crosswalk, those can be easier for drivers to forget are there. And that also creates a situation where a pedestrian might not think as hard about looking for traffic both ways.
So, Pat, what types of things have they done already?
Sure. So the city has positioned about 6 or 7 of these paddles that will go right in the middle of the roadway. They have a big yield sign on them. They're bright yellow, and they really are meant to get drivers to just notice that there's a crosswalk coming. Because a lot of times on these crosswalks, there's not much lighting. You can't see the striping on the ground. So it's really meant to just make those visible. And they've positioned those in a number of neighborhoods. They have some in Northside particularly. Northside's been a particularly big, a hot spot for these incidences. The Price Hill neighborhoods are getting some. There are some going into Hyde Park. So they're really focusing on all different corners of the city.
Pat, what's the most surprising thing that you have learned about this in your reporting and investigating?
Well, I think what is most surprising to me is that we're already halfway through this budget cycle, and this $500,000 was approved back in June, and so far we're almost to December, and they've only been able to release about $14,000 out of all of that money. So now they only have another 6 months to spend another $440,000 on projected projects.
Wow.
Like this. So actually, Councilman Chris Seelbach brought that up during a committee meeting earlier this week. He was frustrated with the finance department as to why this money hasn't been released more quickly.
Pat, thank you so much for that. We know you will stay on top of that. You can read his full story right now on WCPO.com, and if you